Hello.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Wow Moments. Joining me is Minister Alicia Smith, and she wants to discuss, well, we will be discussing the importance of mental health resources for our teens. Resources for our teens, period.
Well, one of the resources is having a network that works, a prospering network that works. GPN, which is God's Prospering Network, is a network that people can plug into as a referral service, just like WOW is our referral service, in reference to anything they need, whether they need jobs, whether they need resume help, whether they need on-the-job training, whether they need housing, whether they need, it doesn't matter. God wants to be able to supply all your needs, as he says in his word. He's a God that supplies all our needs. So according to his riches and glory. So though we have a Christian-based biblical principle, we have to we have to still service all the people.
The Apostle Paul's spirit, I am all things to all people.
Exactly. Some people feel like, oh, it's for this and for that because you're Christian based. That doesn't mean anything.
Okay.
That just means that we have the love of Christ in our hearts.
Well, what is the underlying goal for the services? Because I know that the teenagers are pretty much left to themselves. You had expressed before, you said that there's a service for everyone, but that you feel that the teenagers are not receiving the support that they need. And by them being our future, that is leaving our future to be questioned.
Right. Well, you have to think about, this is your legacy. Your children are is you.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's nothing for them and they're being harmed in every way, domestic violence with our teenagers is at an all-time high. And because they're taking matters into their own hands, and also left of devices, as you like to put it to me, they're just doing whatever.
Yeah.
And they're clumped together, grouping themselves.
The blind leading the blind.
Right. So they're grouping themselves together. Most of the times you'll find a lot of these teens some are experiencing it, some are experiencing not so much as the other one is experiencing, but they all are gathered together as hurt beings. Hurt people hurt people.
Yes, yes.
So they figure if they group together, they don't have to worry about being ass hurt because we're going to look out for each other because you're a part of us. You're a part of our clique. You understand what I'm saying? So parents have lost touch because of the latchkey kid. The latchkey kid eventually was going to become a bigger problem.
Yes.
Eventually. Well, I got so busy, bills are going up, and I just got to have a second job, and I'm a single parent. All those things are understandable. But where's our community? Where's that community that took and helped? When that stopped, when the community also started hurting the kids.
Okay.
You have to stop and say, well, what do you mean? You knew this person for about 5 years, but you didn't know that they were abusing the kids. So what? They were watching the kids on the block, helping out here and there. Life sometimes has a way of changing people.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
And what happens behind closed doors? The older mothers of the church used to tell us, and we used to think this was the cruelest thing. Well, baby, you shouldn't let them go over so-and-so's house too much and other people's house too much because you don't know how they're raising their children.
Absolutely.
And we just thought that was the most cruelest thing. Well, they should be able to have spending nights over and little nights out and and little things like that and whatnot, what have you, till you find out that Johnny is being sexually perverted by his stepdad or by his mother.
So that was their way of telling us to safeguard or be a good steward over our household and our children.
That was the way that they knew.
Yes, yes.
And they were putting it in a subtle way without you being offended on how to raise your children.
Absolutely.
But because we felt that that wasn't necessary,
we didn't do it.
We didn't look further into the message.
But that's that village situation that you're talking about, that it's so needed now.
It is needed.
It's
needed even more so now. Now let us go back to the teenagers. My motto is break your silence, but not with violence.
Yes.
Get your breakthrough now.
Yes.
Okay? When you're breaking this, we want them to talk about it. I want them to talk about it. You want them to come home every day. What happened to when Martha came home and said, Mom, my day was great. It was great. It was great, Mom. Or John came home and said, Mom, I hate school. Oh, son, you'll get by it. No. Why do you hate school? What happened today? I don't want to talk about it. Well, talking about it is important. It helps you work the problem out. If you talk about it, then we can come up with a solution. If you never talk about it, we can't come up with a solution. Solutions to our problems are talked about, are worked out.
So we stopped communicating with our children.
Absolutely.
We left them to their own devices.
Absolutely.
And
other people's devices.
And the streets got a hold of them.
Absolutely. People say, well, I talk to my kids every day. Do you? If you do, that's wonderful. Okay. That's great.
Okay.
But let a man examine himself. Do we? Or have we just ignored some of the cries?
Okay.
Sometimes, and I was a parent that was home a lot, and sometimes I wasn't. But I can't honestly say that every single thing with 4 children, I actually did everything that I was supposed to do with each child each time. No.
Okay.
I'm not even going to begin to tell that lie.
Okay.
But that's what is needed.
Well, what does the Teen Right Track Center offer to help in those issues?
Teen Right Track Center offers prevention care for those who are not at that level yet. So we're gearing towards the ones that are like 10, 11, 12, because they're younger and younger each year. So we're gearing towards making sure they have extra after school curriculum and summer curriculum, things that interest them, no matter what it is, whether it's video games, whether it's computers, just any extracurriculum activities, basketball, football, things that they're loving, even in their seasons that's off. If that season is off, or for whatever reason, and that kid wants to pursue that, we link them up with other players, even NFL, NBA, the hockey leagues, all these things that keeps their interest.
Okay.
If they're failing in school, especially our IEP kids, and they are one of the most important kids, because the IEP kids, although all kids are important, the IEP kids, because of their inability to learn on a curve as other kids, they seem to be lost more so in every area.
Okay.
So they need a little bit more help. So give them that extra help because kids can be cruel.
Okay.
They'll start and they'll say, well, you're a dummy. That was a stupid answer. And now my morale, my esteem is low. So now, where I was already scuffling, I'm giving up. So I'm going to fit into a crowd that I don't have to do that for. And that's a big problem. Because you don't know where they're going to look.
Okay.
and they'll find anything.
Yes.
So you want to gear towards their strengths and say, listen, I know you're not strong here, but let's work here. Let's have fun with it. And then that person has to be dependable.
So it's like it's also like a mentorship
It is.
program
Yes.
also.
So
Okay.
you have like a big brother, big sister.
Yes.
You don't even hear that anymore. Back in the day when we were young, you used to hear about big brother and big sister program. Though they exist,
Okay.
but they're not on the scale that they used to be.
Okay.
We need to bring those things back.
The tools that we use to make that village, to help raise that child, we need to bring that back into existence in order for us not to lose this generation,
Yes.
which is our future.
Yes. We need to bring them off the streets. They're on the streets too much.
Okay.
They're on the streets looking for great things to do, and they found and trouble found them, and they found trouble.
Yes.
Now let's flip that. And they said, well, my mom is on drugs. I don't know where to go. Let's change that. What do you mean? Let's change that. What do you need to succeed? What do you feel you need to succeed? Well, I need money right now. Beside the money, what would you need your money to purchase? A home, education, that thereby would bring you a job, help you to rest your head. Mom needs a job, dad needs a job. What do you need? Rehab.
So putting the resources, not just in making tangible resources available for the child, but also for the guardians, for the parents. So it's a full scope of helps,
Absolutely.
of resources to rebuild the family,
Absolutely.
thereby strengthening the community.
Absolutely.
Because if the families are broken, the community is broken.
What does God say in his book, in the book of Romans? One faith,
Yes.
one body,
Yes.
one Lord,
Yes.
one God,
Yes.
one baptism.
Yes.
He's not looking at all that in the one circle, but he's talking about one. Unity.
Yes.
All that is unifying. One body.
Yes.
The nose is a part of the one
body.
body.
Yes.
The lip, the teeth, the tongue.
Yes.
Though they have different operations, they're part of
One body.
one body.
Yes.
One.
One body.
They're unified.
Yes.
If one part of that body is missing or not functioning, it's an effect in the body.
Yes. It throws the whole balance off.
So we need a resource that takes and does everything and touches other areas. Though we're geared towards the troubled teen and the not troubled teen, we want to touch in every area of that teen's life that would affect them from progressing.
Okay.
Thereby, if their mom and dad, if their foundation, their home is if it's solid and it's neat, see how my hands are together
Yes.
and they're tight. If you put something on top, it would be hard to break it apart.
Yes.
Why?
Because it's something holding it together.
It's
solid.
It's solid.
It's a solid foundation.
They need that foundational, stable,
Okay.
and the hidden secrets dug up.
Okay. Okay.
See, there's rooted things there that you can't see.
Yes.
You can see them selling drugs on the corner, but what's the root?
Yes.
There's no root, they just disobedient. There's a root to rebellion.
Yes.
There's a root to the rebellion. What's the driving force for the rebellion?
Yes.
Because it's there. And it's festering bigger and bigger. And it started at a pebble. Because you missed the pebble, it became a rock.
Yes.
Now it's a boulder and you don't know how to move it.
Mm, mm,
So you need some help.
yes.
Because the only way to roll away that stone, you gonna need some power.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So, we as a community, as GPN, God's prospering network, are knitted together, different people of different walks, helping one another to bring about a unified change in the life of our
Resources
young
coming
people.
together. Resources coming together.
And we have to be unified to win our children.
Yes.
I don't care what you are. Muslim, Buddhism, Taoism, Christian,
It's a
whatever
joint
it
effort.
is.
It's a
You
joint
want to
effort.
save these lives of these children on the streets? You better be ready to roll up your sleeves and do some serious work.
Yes, it's a joint effort. It's a joint effort.
And not just drop them off and keep driving.
Absolutely.
And this might be the best thing. Drop them off and let us fix them up.
We have to have a hands-on effect when dealing with this generation because they are the future. And in order to secure and make it sound, their foundation must be sound.
Another thing is, stop lying to them.
What do you mean by that?
They know when you're lying. They know it. She told me she was going to come through here. She ain't been here yet. They get tired of that. Not being able to count on you.
The trust is broken. If I can't depend on